this big ball of rings, and I had to spray it down with water so that it would kind of fall.
I always thought Bobby looked like a young Marlon Brando, and now he looks like an old Marlon Brando. Oh, God. He's going to kick my ass for that. Sorry, Roberto.
Don't stop filming my face. Don't stop.
That footage, the early footage, especially, you know, Bobby and I and me and the guys on the road, previous to those moments, those beginning moments, I never had that. I had a great family that I felt very comfortable performing in front of and around, but I'd never had friends like that. What they brought out of me led to where I'm at today. When we talk about the first days on stage, what was my comedy like? What kind of material did I sling out there? I'd found an article in one of those bad tabloid, like the black and white tabloids. They can't even afford color.
Gareth, you know what the article says? No. It says, I was raped by a snowman. I was raped by a snowman.
And that was actually the very first anything that I'd ever done in a comedy club.
He made me touch his snowballs. Laugh. He called me a little snowblower. Bigger laugh. He made me do it Frosty style. Roars of laughter.
And it did really well. It got those, I mean, how could it not? Snowballs? Are you kidding me? That's still funny. I'm thinking about bringing it back. I might dust that puppy off and do it tonight.
But one thing that I couldn't do when I was little, I was a terrible speller. I couldn't spell anything, so my mom and dad, they got me this little aid, a little helper, a little friend. It was a little red box called Speak and Spell.
One of my classic cuts, if I may, was a bit called Speak and Spell.
Remember Speak and Spell? They shouldn't have called this thing Speak and Spell. They should have called this thing Speak Like the Devil. Remember the voice on it? It was like, hey, I know.
It's interesting. Speak and Spell was probably the first joke that I ever wrote, which really got a big reaction.
Hey, no! Hey, no! That's not an A. That's not the vowel I've come to know and love. He would make dolphins come into the harbor and be like, I could spell great. I talked like a freak. I was like, I learned my name. Oh, great.
Mr. Gary Gulman, Gary Jackpot Gulman. I met Gary in, I think, mid-92. We were playing a Chinese restaurant. It was actually Nick's Comedy Stop, which was a local comedy club. They took over a part of this Chinese restaurant. We would do this Wednesday night together. And Gary used to do more impressions at the very beginning. He did like Kramer. He does a pretty mean Kramer. You should ask him if he still wants to whip out his Kramer.
Yeah, Jerry, you fouled me. You ran right over me. I'm embarrassed doing this right now.
Don't whip out your Kramer. Okay, Gary?
And if you have an old dad, what they love to do is they love to try to get you to do the crazy things they did growing up. And some of them were insane. Like in the summer, my father would always suggest, he'd always be like, what are you, hot? You hot, son? Why don't you just go outside and open up a fire hydrant like we used to? Open up a fire hydrant? I was like, look, Dad, what was once fun in the sun for you, Spanky and Alfalfa, is now called a felony.
I learned really quickly that Gary and I, what we had in common was we both had a place that we wanted to be, but we knew that we were nowhere near it.
I don't think I could ever date a woman with an eye patch. I think I'd always be tempted during lovemaking to look her in the face and go, "Arr!"
We both had close relationships with our family, and particularly our mother. Our mothers are both like our dilithium crystal. It's like they're the one who give us that power.
My mother would come to see me, and of course she would see Dane after me, and she would laugh so hard, and he was never vulgar. It was always very very tasteful, but he would talk about he would say pussy. You know, he would talk about head. She's a mom. She's an older woman. She doesn't look like somebody who would laugh at pussy. But she would be hysterical. And the only thing I knew is that if I ever said pussy, she would, Gary, that's not you. That's not you.
Why is it on Ricky Lake? Maybe somebody can answer this. When a woman gets really angry, she always does that move. You know what move I'm talking about? You ready? Girlfriend, you better check your man, girl.
I actually met Gary at the Nick's Comedy Stop. He needed a job. I got him a job as a waiter.
He was obnoxious and rude and condescending and patronizing, and I didn't think he liked me at all.
He was so nervous. He'd have this little pencil. It looked like because he looks like a giant, and this little pencil and this little pad of paper, and he'd be shaking, and he'd bend in half like Lurch. Excuse me, can I take your order? Pasta primavera.
This fucking jerk. I didn't like him at all. And later on, I would say he was one of my favorite people in the world.
Jay Davis. Jay Duck Davis. We call him the Duck.
Take it off.
Excuse me, I don't need heckles right now. Would you relax, pal? I don't need this shit. You started! Would you fucking leave me alone? I just fucking started my first fucking night! Leave me alone!
The first time I met Dane Cook, I was running the Dublin's Comedy Night upstairs at an Irish pub, and it was like the hottest comedy room going in Los Angeles, maybe the country at the time. It was Dave Chappelle had just done the room about 4 weeks prior to Dane's arrival.
Oh yeah!
So he came right up to me because he found out I was the one booking it and in charge of the room. And he said, "How you doing? I'm Dane Cook. I'd love to go up on your show tonight."
And Jay was like, "Nah, I can't put him up. I have a full list." You know, Jay was just, doing his thing.
He goes, "Dude, 7 minutes, man. 7. That's all I need."
I knew right away I loved the stage. I loved the setup. I knew that this was every Tuesday I was going to be in this room, come hell or high water. I wanted to be performing at Dublin's.
When I was a little kid, I used to stay home from school sick, watch game shows. Price is Right. That's my favorite one to this day. I love it. Bob Barker is still the host. I don't even think he's alive anymore. I swear to God, he's on strings. He's like...
He looks at me stage left and just barrels right at me as soon as he gets off the stage. And he leans in and he goes, 7 minutes, dude.
Jay just looked at me. He was like, "Dude, you can come here anytime you want. This is your home now."
And from that night on, he kept coming every night. And then we just became great friends. We developed this amazing relationship, and he started mentoring me and giving me advice on comedy.
I saw Jay as a really passionate guy, and I knew that he was passionate about comedy, and he also was very honest that he was not very good at it.
Let's just call Bob night and day, because he doesn't have caller ID. You're fucked, Bob. You don't have caller ID, do you? I'm gonna call you every night, dude. Anyway, that's my thing with Bob. Damn it.
He needed to put in the time, and he needed to go to school, and that's why he set up the show. And I really learned that, he's like, I set up this show to help other comics to get on stage, but so I could get on stage, so that I could better myself as a performer and have guys like you come in and watch you and learn. So we, just slowly formed a friendship. Bobby didn't care for Jay. I remember when Bobby first met Jay at Dublin's, he tried to talk me out of my friendship with Jay. He was like, "I like that guy, man. I get a bad feeling from that guy, dude." And he was so adamant about it. I was like, "No, you just got to get to know him."
Jay Davis.
Something happened where I went to kiss Bobby on the cheek, and we ended up locking lips. I was like, ugh. It was just the weirdest thing. Somehow we kissed lips, and it was the weirdest thing.
Come on, all right, we thin lips. He's LA. He's LA. Hey, what's up, man? You're great, thanks. You can't really. I didn't think he was real at first.
Bobby had this preconceived idea about people from LA, because Bobby's so East Coast that all LA people are fake, and that by being overly friendly, they're bullshitting you.
It's so funny. East Coast people, when people are nice to us, we step back.
I still don't understand completely what it is. I mean, I've tried to figure it out.
You're a snaky little son of a bitch from Hollywood. Okay. You happy?
Took us for a ride.
You ruined everybody's day. He's just a little, he does a little crazy shit. He's a little, little nuts.
I feel like maybe there was a little something like, I want to be opening for Dane. Why is this guy opening for Dane?
I have to learn myself to say, "Hey, Jay, knock it off."
I feel like all that bitterness and stuff that he was